Congratulations on your newborn baby, or if you're expecting soon, I am so excited for you to be here. We know and love / hate the phrase sleep before the baby gets here because you're never gonna sleep again. And I would just love to smack all those people in the faces. Not really, but I would love to be the one to tell you that even though you can't sleep train a newborn, it doesn't mean that you're hopeless and helpless and that you can't do anything. I have 8 tips for you today on how to optimize your newborn sleep without sleep training. Now, a lot of this is going to be laying the foundation for your baby's future of sleeping, but there's plenty that we can do from the get-go to help them get into these habits a little bit sooner and just a little easier. The first thing that you want to do is make sure your baby is always getting full feeds. Little snacks here and there every 45 minutes to an hour is not going to help your baby connect long sleep cycles. They're going to continuously wake, snack, wake, snack, wake, snack, because they're always going to be hungry. So let's make sure we're getting them full feed. Number 2 talks about your baby's light exposure. If you saw a few weeks ago, I did a whole video on morning light exposure. You can check that out after this video. But the first thing in the morning that you want to do for your newborn is open up all the curtains and get their little eyeballs exposed to daylight. Obviously, when your baby was in the womb, it was 24/7 darkness. So they have no idea what day versus night is, and they may have them completely mixed up. When they were in the womb, your day-to-day movements were lulling your baby to sleep, and when you went to sleep, your baby was having a party in your belly. So we're going to help reverse this and fix their day versus night confusion by opening up all the windows in the morning, not necessarily the windows, just the blinds, getting some daylight exposure to their eyeballs, and then in the evening, you want to reverse that and dim the house down. If you have things like TV or radio or like whatever playing in the background, put it lower or turn it off. This is especially going to help with that witching hour but making the house dim and calm around bedtime, maybe 1 to 2 hours before bed, or whenever your baby is having that witching hour experience, you want to just kind of dim everything down. Tip number 3 is after 1 month old, I follow eat, play, sleep routines, meaning that as soon as your baby wakes in the morning, you change their diaper, you open the curtains like we just talked about, you get them ready for the day, and then you feed them, and then they play, and then they sleep, and then they eat, and then they play, and then they sleep. And that cycle continues until bedtime. Obviously, overnight, we're not waking babies up to play. We're just doing eat and sleep as needed. Tip number 4 is to have short, age-appropriate wake windows. Now, you can get my whole wake time chart in Baby Prep Blueprint, my guide to the 4th trimester, aka those first 3 months with a newborn. But that goes right into tip number 5, and that is making sure your baby is not overtired. Expecting a newborn to be able to take perfect naps from the womb is just silly. That's not gonna happen. So we don't need to keep your baby awake for any amount of time in order to get them to sleep better at night. So we're not doing, if I keep them up longer, they'll sleep better at night. That's not how it works. If your baby is overtired, then they're going to wake more often during the night because they're overtired and they just can't do it. Tip number 6 is to have a goal of doing 1 nap a day in the crib. So yes, you can still rock your baby to sleep. However, you should put them down in the crib for the first nap of the day. It doesn't have to be the first nap of the day, but that's usually the one that's going to be the most successful. So that's the nap that I always recommend. If it works and your baby stays asleep, great. They've successfully had 1 nap of the day in the crib. If they don't and you need to pick them up and rock them back to sleep and do a contact nap, perfectly fine. Because right now, all we're doing is practicing for those later months when we start expecting your baby to sleep in the crib for all naps and all overnight sleep as well. Tip number 7 is to implement a bedtime routine from day 1. I know it sounds insane, but you have to tell yourself that the beginning, like first month or 2, is really just practice. You're fine-tuning the routine. You're figuring out like what you like, what order things work well in, and how you want your routine to look. Because once your baby starts producing melatonin, their circadian rhythm gets more set, and their sleep cycles start to mature, you need to make sure that these routines are set in stone. Obviously, when you have a newborn, the routine is going to be a much more condensed version of what it might be when they are a toddler or preschooler. However, changing their diaper, putting them in pajamas, putting them in their sleep sack, and then helping them fall asleep, that is perfectly fine for your bedtime routine for the first several months. When they get older and they need to break their sleep associations and fall asleep independently, you want to just move that feeding to the beginning of the routine so they stop falling asleep at the breast or bottle. Tip number 8 is to buy a baby prep blueprint. This is my guide, Mama's Guide to the 4th Trimester. It is covering everything you need to know, not only from sleep, but also development. I have a chart of activities that you can do with your baby to help foster their development. I have different swaddling techniques, soothing techniques, wake windows, how to prepare for going back to work, whether you're finding a daycare or a nanny, and what to do once you hit that 4-month mark. This guide is full of everything you need to not only survive, but to thrive through that 4th trimester. I know that having a baby is physically, mentally, emotionally changing. It changes everything about you and life as you knew it before you had your baby. So if you're still pregnant, I recommend getting the guide and reading through it before you have your baby, so that when you're going through all these hormonal changes and body changes and just everything that comes with having a newborn, that you've already read the guide and all you have to do is quick reference back to it when you're dealing with a specific topic. If you're already in the trenches, just know that it is never too late. Whatever stage or phase you are in with your newborn, there is so much information in this guide that is going to help you with your baby forever. Once your baby has independent sleep skills, the only thing that's going to ruin that, and I hate saying this and I'm laughing while I say it because the only thing that can ruin your baby's independent sleep skills in the future is you. Hate to say it, but it's true. Once you've sleep trained your baby and you have taught them how to sleep independently, the only way it's going backwards is if you start letting them rely on you for falling asleep again. So just keep that in mind. Learn everything you can from Baby Prep Blueprint. Be prepared. Know what you need to know about helping your baby sleep without sleep training, so that when it is time for sleep training, it's easy. I literally tell everyone that by the time I had my 3rd kid and I implemented all of these things, I didn't even have to sleep train him because I laid the foundation, and it was literally like so quick that he got it. He knew what he had to do to get himself to sleep, and he's been an angel ever since. So check out Baby Prep Blueprint. I will leave a link in the description box down below and in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep blooming. Mwah.